Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the session. So, myself Vishnuvardhan Chandapatla. So, I welcome you to SIEM Intelligence family. So, we have a demo session on CompTIA Security Plus, that is SIO, that's 601. So, prior to going to this particular session, we are going to have a basic introduction about our company as SIEM Intelligence and our sister company Hacktivist. Okay. So our company Hacktivist and a System Intelligence family, one of the most leading IT security services and training provider company, offers a wide range of network security and training information security courses in terms of cyber security. We are fast growing online information security training based out of India, and we have a large number of professional instructors who are specialized and you can say expertise enough in terms of various domains, something like cyber security, and you can say information security, mobile security. And our instructors has hold various accreditations, something like you can say CSSP, CASA, CASM, and you can say various certifications from CompTIA, ISACA, and ISC Square. Okay. And most of the persons are well experienced, is more than 10 to 15 years of experience in their respective domain. Okay, guys, and our company has majorly focused towards cybersecurity training, which provides you can say exceptional hands-on practical training to the individuals as well as corporates worldwide. Our goal is to you can say train, mentor, and support your career in cybersecurity, and we are the one of the most fast-forward you can say make India project members in terms of cybersecurity. It was you can say something like our motto is to make India more power in terms of you can say cyber security. Okay, so it is something related to our company, SIEM Intelligence. Let's go and have a basic introduction about me. So again, myself Vishnuvardhan Chandapatla from you can say SIEM Intelligence. I did my post graduation from you can say Punjab Technical University in 2007, and presently I am under research papers you can say in terms of cyber forensic and information security from University of Madras, holding certifications like CISA, ISACA from ISACA, and IBM Curator, CompTIA, Security Plus, Network Plus, RHCA, and you can say from EC Council I have certified ethical hacker, ENSA, and there are so many various you can say certification in terms of core as well as you can say cyber security you can say level. I and my uh, portfolio in terms of my career. So I worked as a system administrator and network administrator for a legacy network more than 5 years, where I understood what is the structure of you can say administration, how and system administration, services administration can be happen, and what are the different types of networks that can be made. And during those period, I did my network audits, and I even created a network you can say architecture. And then I shifted from entirely a new domain cyber called cybersecurity, where I did cybersecurity coordinator, worked as a cybersecurity coordinator and a member of incident handling response team more than 2 years for a cyber emergency response team, and worked as a system and network log analyst, specifically Splunk, to identify you can say what is mean by protocol analysis as well as you can say system analysis in terms of you can say network security. There I worked in a network operation center where I understood the domain in terms of network security, and then followed by I went to handle SIM curator administration and you can say operations manager, where I worked as an incident responder for a SOC, where I understood the various domains, something like cryptography and you can say services management, software development life cycles. So I understood a various concept of you can say services management and correlation. Then presently I am under the cloud reporter analyst for a data center management unit, where I am specifically handling Azure as well as you can say Exchange Reporter Plus in terms of you can say for specifically one entire organization. And I am a passionate towards you can say giving training sessions. I do give training sessions to Security Plus, Network Plus, CYSA, and IBM Curator and other SIEM Intelligence platforms too since last 3 years. It's my you can say I become it's one of my common you can say practice to take the session every day. So this is my a basic uh, intro about myself, and now we're going to have a demo in terms of you can say CompTIA. So about the course, again welcome to CompTIA Security Certification, that program. This course covers we need to know how to pass your CompTIA Security Certification exam with over more than 30 plus hours in depth and fascinating content. You will get so much of you can say, and various domain lectures. You will come to know what are the different domains that we are going to cover. And this course will not only make you a good IT security tech, but also make you can say ready to pass security plus exam. So this is my assurance that once you are go through with proper this particular security plus, I can assure you that out of 90 marks of your proctor's exam, I can assure you a minimum of 75 if you go through the entire course the way I explain. If you go through entirely, then you will get it at least 75% out of you can say that 75 marks out of 90. Okay, the basic agenda. What's our base agenda? So we are going to understand the different types of domains, where we are going to understand how to apply a 3A's. What is 3A's is something like authentication, authorization, and you can say accounting. So how to do a scan of wide and wireless networks, and you find out your various weaknesses, vulnerabilities, usage of your cryptography and public you can say key infrastructure, understanding critical concepts of you can say risk management, governance, incident responses, and mitigating the vulnerabilities. So this is our prime base agenda. Okay, and we also going to identify how hackers are trying to get into your network. What are the different ways? What is the attack vectors methodology? What is mean by you can say Lockheed method? You can come to know what is mean by CKC, that is cyber kill chain, and there we can get a basic idea of what is MITRE, and we come to know how the IT infrastructure and physical assets are trying to get hacked, how security tech help us to prevent these breaches. So how to harden your system basically. Then we are here to identify how to prevent the attack ranging from simple malware to sophisticated exploits, and you can say advantage of people's trust, relation, and lack of knowledge. So we need to identify how to train the people, how to identify the you can say bugs in the systems, what is the relationship and the authorization that can be taken into place in terms of you can say prevent of these attacks, how to apply the techniques and penetration testing include passive and active reconnaissance to identify a basic reconnaissance. What is meant by reconnaissance? So basically you are doing any scan, that may be active scan or a passive scan, or you can say horizontal scan, a vertical scan. So how this penetration can be taken, and what are the different types of techniques. Okay, then secure an enterprise network and environment, including creating incident response and business continuity plans, disaster recovery and crisis recovery plans. And you can also going to set up some SANS benchmark, ISO 27000 benchmark, and you can say GDPR compliances. How and why, what is the requirement of all these things? So this is a base agenda of our entire you can say security plus. Okay, what we covered basically in our security plus, what we covered. So according to CompTIA, that is exclusively by the Computing Technology Industry Association, that is CompTIA is a full form of CompTIA, that is Computing Technology Industry Association. This is a non-profit organization. They set up 5 different domains. Out of these 5 different domains, you can consider first one is entirely related to threats, attacks, and vulnerabilities. What is meant by threats? So for example, take a scenario. Let us take a scenario. Different types of social engineering techniques. So this is for example phishing, smishing, wishing, spam, spear phishing, dumpster diving, farming. You can say there's something called whaling, hawks. What are the meaning of these things? So you are going to understand the core concept of these domains. So in terms of threat, attacks, and vulnerabilities, there are so many. If you are going for potential indicators, what are the potential indicators? For example, malwares. In malwares, what are the different types of malwares? For example, ransomware, Trojan, worms, and you can say fileless, you can say apts, bots. So we come to know what are the different terminologies, and we will get the understanding of core concepts of attack. And finally we are also going to understand the, you can say, vulnerabilities. What is mean by vulnerabilities? Cloud based, 0 day, weak configurations, third party risk, improper and weak patch management, legacy platforms, something like data loss, data breach, data security, identification of thefts, financial. So there are so many things come into picture. So we'll discuss about threat, attack, and vulnerability in terms of these three comes under one domain. Then architecture design. We'll go and handle something called architecture design, where we are going to understand what is a configuration management, hardware security module, that is HSM. So what is mean by key, that is key management solution, that is KMS. What is the cloud CASB, cloud access security brokers. We also come to know understanding data protection, data encryptions, DRM, that is digital rights management, deception and disruption in terms of honeypots, honey files, honey nets. You can say there are fake telemetry. You can how to understand this architecture. Okay. Then we are going to understand virtualization. So what is meant by clouds, or different types of cloud and design structures. Okay. So we'll deep dive into that particular one by one when we start up. Okay. And the implementation stage, there is something called implementation. In an implementation, what are the different types of protocols, what are the different types of endpoint protection, security solutions. So and we are understanding what is the network design, secure network design implementation. So basically we are going to understand the deployment, secure deployment implementation. Okay. Installing and configuring of wireless security settings, basics, and you can say we can come to know what are the important things. And we can also go and understanding something called mobile solutions. See, for example, connection methods and receive, cellular, NFC, infrared, USB, Bluetooth, RFID. What are the different type of you can say encryption that used to, what is meant by WPA1, WPA2, WPA3, which is the most securable, why it is then. So we are going to understand deployment model, something like BIOD, personally enabled COPE, that is you can consider, and choose your own device, CYOD. What is the meaning of all this? So these are, as I discussed, these are the core concept of your implementation. So the core concept of these three, and the operations and incidents. Sorry. Then operations and incidents. If you talk about operations and incidents management, we are going to understand there are some operational, you can say, sorry, operational requirements, something like network reconnaissance and discovery, and fine manipulations. For example, head, tail, cat, grep. We are going to understand shell and script environment, something like SSH, PowerShell, Python, OpenSSL. We come to know all this. And packet capture, something like TCP replay, TCP dump, Wireshark, EtherCap, forensic, something like DD, memory dump. We are going to understand the concept of these things. Okay. And then governance, risk and compliance. So in a governance, risk and compliance, if you start understanding, we will talk about three things. One is category, control type, and deterrent. So in a category and control type, we'll come to know what is meant by managerial, what is meant by operational, what is meant by technical. And in a control type, what is meant by preventive, detective, and correction. Okay. And we will also going to understand something called regulations and standards and legislation, something like GDPR compliances, PCI DSS completion. What is the core concept again? Okay, what is mean by ISO 27001, 27002, 27001, 31000. So there are so many things are there. These are just in my mind. Just I am explaining. Okay, and we will also talk about benchmarks, hardening concepts. What is mean by TOS, trusted operating system. What is the platforms that we need to configure? There are some configure guides to be there. So I'll provide those benchmarks for the sake of different OSS application and services, and what is mean by application server, network information configuration specifically. Okay. And we are also going to understanding, you can say, organization policies, how you are going to change management, organizational control, asset management, And there is something called risk management and process concept, something like risk type. What are the different types of risk? External, internal, legacy. You can say IP theft, risk management, acceptance, how much the risk that can be you can taken into, or you can say for get the information of the attacker. What is the acceptance? What is the avoidance? What is the transferable? So we will also understand about risk analysis, how to risk a register, what is the heat map of this, control assessment, and we'll also understand, you can say, residual of that particular risk, eradication of the process, qualitative, quantitative. There are so many things into picture. Okay, so these are the things that we are going to cover in a various domains. So the five domains that you are going to understand is threat, attack and vulnerabilities, architecture and design, implementation, operation and incident response, governor, risk and compliance. So first you should know the main domain. These are the five domains where you are going to look forward for the sake of security plus. So
Hello.
yeah, tell me. Yeah, someone wish to ask. Any doubts? So we can have at the end. I'll ask each and everyone related to, if you have any doubts, just throw a keep in, you can say, notify somewhere, so that we will discuss related to that. Okay. So okay. So these are the five domains which we are going to cover with respect to core concepts. Okay. Then what, you can say, what kind of job you can get out of this particular certification. See, people used to be there, there may be professional, there may be already working guys, already knows everything, but if you understand this security concepts, then what going to get? You can be a security and system administrator, security engineer and analyst, security IT auditor, IT project manager. So these are the major, you can say, roles. Beginner security specialist, junior IT auditor, and a penetration tester. So these are the scope of your job. Okay. Already you may work in another domain. After getting this, after having the experience of that, and you can work it as a security engineer or security analyst for that particular product. Okay. So what is the course content
Well,
basically? Any doubts? Someone wants to ask something? Okay. So let's go into deep dive towards our course content. There are total 31 sessions, 33 different types of sections are there with respect to all five domains. First, during the first stage, first six, we will consider as your threats, attacks and vulnerabilities. Then we'll go and understand architecture and design, then implementation. The process is very similar. According the process of the domains, and the section is also course. According to this is entirely CompTIA benchmark. So for the section 1, we'll going to understand object of overview of security. So in overview of security, we are going to understand what is CIA, confidentiality, integrity and availability, that is triad. What is AAA, that is authentication, authorization and accountability. Security, different types of security threats, different, how to mitigate that threats, what are the different type of hackers are there. See, because this security place is something like majorly works for those who are working for defensive, so you can go and what are the different types of hackers that should be there, and you should know what is mean by black hat, white hat, you can say red hat, blue hat, elite. There are so many hackers are there, so you know what is mean by script kiddie, what is the copycat hacker. Those you should know. So majorly people used to know what is meant by black hat, and you can say gray hat and a white hat. So other than that, there are something a red hat, you can say blue hat, elite, and the copycat hackers, and you can say script kiddies are there. And there is something a threat actors. What are the different threat actors are there? Again, different, what is meant by APT, advanced persistent threats, and you can say there are some hacktivists. What you can come to know all this, and you can come to know what is the different type of threat intelligence and the resources from where you can collect the meaningful information of suspicious activities and all. These are the overview of security. Okay. Then threat hunting you are going to understand, and attack framework, where you can come to know what is in the cyber kill chain, MITRE attack framework, defend, detect. So I will explain some of the attack framework, so you can come to know different type of attack framework. Okay. Then the intersection 2, you can come to know what is meant by malware, what is meant by virus, what is meant by worm, Trojan, and I'll give the demonstration for virus and Trojan, and a RAT, that is remote administration tool, and what is meant by ransomware, spyware, rootkit, bootkit, and spam. And other than this, there are so many other malwares, malware related activities. We can go and talk about Trojan horse, logic bombs. So we'll discuss all those things and we'll finalize, summarize that particular malware. Then we'll go and understand about malware infections. Till now we understood type of malwares. Now we are going to understand malware infections, something like common delivery methods, phishing, botnet and zombies, and you say active interceptions and privilege escalations, and demo of your privilege escalations, backdoors and logic bombs, symptom of infections. What happens if infection if your system got infections, and you can say removing the malware, how to remove, how to identify the signature, preventing a malware exploitations. So these are the common concept of your malware infections. Okay. In a section 4, we are going to understand security applications and devices. So what are the security and applications and devices that are there for the sake of finding your malwares, attacks, suspicious activity, whatever. So for example, software firewalls, hardware firewalls, IDS, that is intrusion detection system. We will discuss about what is the meaning of core concepts of this IDS, pop-up blocker, data loss prevention, digital rights management, securing your BIOS, what has been basic in our system, that is your first operating system, securing your storage devices, how to secure. So these are the concept of your attack vector and you can say security. What is meant by disk encryption and endpoint analysis. So in a you can say security application and devices, we will discuss all these devices related activity. And in a mobile device security, we will going to discuss something as securing your wireless devices, mobile malwares, what is meant by fileless malware, what is meant by pointless malware, what is meant by APTs, what is meant by SIM cloning, what is meant by ID theft, what are the different type of Bluetooth attacks, something like blue swarming, blue warming, blue digging. So we're going to understand all those things, and we're going to understand something called mobile device theft. If what happens if mobile device theft, if the mobile got theft, so how you are going to resecure your system, security of the apps, how you are going to give what are the different types of permission that you can give, and BYOD, that is bring your own devices, and hardening mobile devices, how to secure your mobile devices, what are the different hardening steps to be followed. Then followed by hardening. In a hardening, we are going to understand about what is meant by hardening, basically how to do a hardening, what is meant by unnecessary application. There are people generally used to have in an organization, they used to have some policies, something like whitelisted, grey listed and blacklisted software. So blacklisted is directly illegal, grey listed means you have to take the permission from your organization, whitelisted means open to use. So that has been already finalized by your you can say policies and procedures in IT security department. If you are understanding what are the necessary and unnecessary applications that you are going to taken care of. Okay. Then restricting application, how to install and how to stop the installation, how to stop uninstalling that particular application, how to put a you can say security password for application uninstallation. So there are some unnecessary services we are going to understand. What is meant trusted open, what are the different types of operating systems are there, what is meant by server software, what is meant by desktop software, what are the different types of softwares are there, what is meant by Linux and Unix, what is the difference between these two things, what is the life cycle of Linux, how it has been discovered, and what are the different you can say what is the tree structure of your Linux, how many OSs are there, that we are going to discuss. What is meant by updates and patches, and what are the different types of updates and patches are there. Interim, you can say interim patch, emergency patch, 0-day patch, and there is something called schedule patch, there is something called service pack. So what are the different types of meanings, and we can come to know what is the patch management mechanism, how to do, what to do, and what are the things to be taken care while doing the patch management. Group policies, what is meant by group policies, from where you are implementing, what is meant by AD. First you should know what is meant by AD, what is meant by user, group, and you can say computer and groups, and how you are going to implement group policies over the similar type of operating system over a different types of that I will give a demo to you. Okay. Then what is mean by file system? What are the different file systems are there? NTFS, FAT, ext3, ext4, xfs. There is something called SFS. What are there are endless. There are, you can say, there everyone used to have their own you can say file system. We will discuss about different types of file system, hard drives. Then in a supply chain management, in a part of section 7, till now it is something, first 6 is comes under, sorry, this this threat, attacks and vulnerabilities. Then the second one is something called supply chain, sorry, supply chain management. In a supply chain management, first we will going to understand what is the mean by supply chain management, and we'll going to understand the other concept called root of trust, trusted firmware, securing processes, how to do these things. Okay. Then virtualization. What is mean by virtualization? What is mean by hypervisor? What is mean by type 1 hypervisor, type 2 hypervisor? How to create a VM?
Hello.
Yeah.
Sir, if it is possible to do this course in Hindi?
Yeah, it is, but is the majority concern. You can contact Rohan with respect to this. Okay, that is possible.
Okay, thank
It is possible.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Sorry for disturbance.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. So we are going to understand what is meant by virtualization concepts, and hypervisors. What are the different types of hypervisors are there? Type 1 hypervisors or type 2 hypervisors. What is meant by basic concept of Docker and containerization, and you can say the Kubernetes, and you can say pods. So we'll discuss. See, though the concept is not there in a course, in a real-time course, but still I do add, because I got some questions from various persons when they went for security plus. They asked some containerization Docker-based questions. So I got to know that there is though it has been not elevated in a course content, but still I do explain what is mean by Docker, what is mean by container, what is mean by pod, what is mean by, you can say, Kubernetes, basic ideas. Okay, how to create a VM, what are the different threats to that particular VM, how to secure a VM, how to take a snapshot, how to I'll do some demonstration for that particular VMs. Okay, then application security. So once it come into picture of application security, we will discuss about what is mean by application, what is mean by application security, what is mean by browser security, web browser concerns, and we will do web browser securing configuration and securing other applications, basic applications, and secure software development. What is mean by software development first? What is mean by life cycle, software development life cycle principles, ITIL basic methodologies that I am going to explain. So you can say testing method, automation manual, so software vulnerabilities and exploits. What is mean by buffer overflows? These are the comes under, you can say, testing. What is demo of your buffer overflow attack, cross-site scripting, and you can say reverse forgery, SQL injections, XML vulnerabilities, race conditions. You can say we'll understand the designing of that particular vulnerability. Then we'll move back to network design. In a network design, we'll discuss about what is meant by network security, what is meant by OSI models, what is meant by hub, switch, router, basic concept, and network zones. What is the forward zone, what is the reverse zone, what is the meaning of network zones, what is meant by jump box, how to jump between two different VLANs, how to utilize the jump box for the, you can say, a mediatorship between two different VLANs where there is no connectivity. So what is mean by NAC, network access protocol, VLAN, that is, you can say, virtual LANs, subnetting, basic concept of subnetting. If people are interested, even I will teach you what is mean by subnetting, how to calculate the subnetting. Though nowadays there are so many tools, but still the manual subnetting is something in nowadays it is something like one of the most prestigious issue, those who know the subnetting. Okay, and what is mean by NAT, what is mean by SNAT, what is mean by DNAT, what is mean by postNAT, what is mean by pre-NAT. We'll discuss what is mean by network address translation basically. Then we'll discuss about perimeter security. What is mean by perimeter security? So in a perimeter security comes under what is your you can say periphery of your you can say organizational you can say border. So we'll come to understand how to set up a perimeter firewall, how to set up a proxy server, what is mean by honeypots, honey nets, data loss prevention, NIDS, NIPS, that is network IDS and network IPS. One is something called the WAF, that is web application firewall, and unified threat management, UTM. We'll discuss the concepts of these things. Okay. So if you understand this core concept of this, then you can come to know what is the work procedure of that particular perimeter security. Then we'll move back to cloud security. So basically, what is meant by cloud computing? What are the different types of cloud? One is private cloud, public cloud, community cloud. So we'll discuss about all three. And what is meant by as a service? There is something called SaaS, PaaS, and you can say IaaS, infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. Then we'll discuss about what is meant by cloud security, basic cloud security, defending of that particular server, cloud-based infrastructure, cloud-based security brokers, application programming interface between communication between multiple you can say clouds. What is meant by serverless and basic cloud threats. We will going to understand the concept of these things. Then we'll go back and understand about automation. What is meant by automation? What is meant by workflow orchestration? What is meant by CA and CD? That is continuous integration and continuous development and continuous deployment. What is meant by DSO? DevSecOps. People know about DevOps. There is something called DevSecOps related to security operations. There is something IAC, infrastructure as a code. For the automation, you need to know what is meant by IAC and all. What is meant by machine learning and correlation. So this will be done under the section of 14 under automation. And then we will come to a basic understanding of till now the structure and of you can say plan and deployment strategies. Now we are going to understand your network attacks, different types of network attacks. What is meant by network attack? What is meant by ports and protocols, suspicious ports, and memorization of your ports. I'll give some set of ports. I'll give some unnecessary ports list. You need to just memorize those things so that you can come to know this. What is meant by 66? What is meant by 445? What is meant by 444? What is meant by 443? Likewise, the entire 0 to 65, 535 ports are there. Out of I'll give more than around 100 plus ports which have a meaningful information, and that will be required. Being a security plus and a security analyst, you should know all these ports and ports details. Okay. And what is meant by denial of service and distributed denial of service? How to stop this particular DDoS? What is meant by spoofing, hijacking, replay attack, null sessions, transitive attacks, DNS attacks, ARP spoofing, ARP poisoning. So there are some basic concepts. You should understand the concepts only. Need not to go in depth how to how to install, how to perform this. So you should know if the attack is performed. So this is a hijacking, this is a DNS hijacking, this is even the ARP poisoning. That if you know the concept, this is more than sufficient for the sake of organization per se, as these are the core concepts. Okay. And securing the networks. How to do a securing your network? Basically, how to set up your devices, media, how to secure your Wi-Fi by you can say rogue devices and all. What is the encryption methodology for your wireless? There may be WPA, WPA2, WPA3. So what is the difference between these three? What is meant by network attacks? Wireless basically. What are the different types of wireless attacks are there? And other wireless technology, something like Bluetooth, NAS. There are some basic wireless technology, RFIDs and other mechanisms. Then we're going and understanding about physical security. Even being a IT expert, you should know even what are the physical security. So physical security comes under surveillance, door locks, biometric readers. These are what you have. So being the things that you should know all this. It comes whenever we talk about security, it comes under authentication. Okay. And facilitation of that particular security, environmental security. What is meant by facilities of security in terms of environmental? What is by fire suppression, HVAC, that is heating, ventilation and air conditioning, shielding, vehicular vulnerabilities, IoT vulnerabilities, embedded system vulnerabilities, SCADA vulnerabilities, mitigating of that particular vulnerabilities, and you can say basic system vulnerabilities. So we are going to understand the concept of these things, and then we are going to understand something called authentication models and .1x policy. There is something called .1x by Microsoft. So we are going to understand what is the difference between LDAP authentication and a curbless authentication. What is mean by RDS, remote desktop services? What are the different types of RDS are there? What is mean by Windows RDS, Linux RDS, that is SSH. So we're going to discuss. What is remote access service? What is mean by VPN, virtual private network? What is the mechanism of authentication? Something like radius and TACACS, authentication attacks, basic authentication attacks. Then we'll go and understand about access control, where we are going to understand again, like authentication models, we are going to understand access control models too. Best practices, user groups, user permissions, group permissions, security group permissions, distributed group permissions, usernames and passwords, policies, and user account control, something like you can say expiry of that particular access, network access, you can say lean period access. So this we will going to discuss in terms of access control. Then in 21 there is something called risk assessment, where we are going to understand what is meant by qualitative, quantitative methodologies, security controls and type of risk. Then in 22 vulnerability one, what is VA? There is vulnerability assessment and penetration testing. So we're going to understand about vulnerability management. What is mean by OVAL, that is open vulnerability assessment language. We are also going to understand something vulnerability assessment by using Nessus, Nmap of scanning, how to do Nmap scanning, as I said. What is meant by Nmap scanning, vulnerability scanning, and basic password analysis, how to do a password cracking by using Hydra, that we are going to explain. And there is something called monitoring and auditing. What is the different types of monitoring types? What is meant by performance of baseline? What is the baseline of your performance? What are the protocol and analyzers? SNMP, analytical tools, something called SIEM, log files. What are the different types of log files? What is mean by syslog? What is mean by SOAR, that is security orchestration and automation, as well as response. So we will discuss about cryptography. Most important topic of entire security plus is cryptography. What are the symmetric keys, symmetric algorithm, public key infrastructure, public key cryptography, asymmetric algorithms, PGP, that is pretty good protection, privacy, key management, one-time pad. We'll talk about steganography, how to create a steganography file, how to hide a you can say data inside an image. So what are the cryptography considerations? So we'll discuss what are the different types of you can say there is something called algorithm models, SHA-256, MD5. There are so many things. There is something triple DES, AES, and the structure 1024 key size, 204 5096, 5086, sorry, 5096. What is the meaning of all those things? Okay. Then hashing. What is mean by hashing? How to pick up hashing attacks? How to pick up the hashing security? How to integrate? You can say set up the hashing values. What are the different type of hashing algorithms are there? How to get? How to do in Windows, in Linux? How to pick up the values, hash values? Then public key infrastructure, again digital certificate. How to you can say see the digital certificate? What are the certification authorities? What is mean by CA? What is mean by sub CA? What is mean by CCA? What is a web of trust? Or how to do trust? How to identify the certificate, whether that is a signed one, whether it is a self signed, whether that is a you can say signed spoofed one. So you are going to understand those things. Then we are going to understand something called protocols of security, that is SSS, SSL, TLS, SSH, VPN protocols, and we'll set up a basic VPN. I have some software too that I'll show you how to set up a VPN. And planning for the worst. Here we are come to know understanding about disaster and crisis management. What is the redundant power? Start up with the power, backup power, data redundancy. What are the different types of data redundancies are there? Backups, backup to backup, cold backup, hot backup, you can say coldest backup. And what is meant by RAID? What are the different types of RAID? 0, 1, 2, 5, 10. How to check the network redundancy? How to loop a you can say within a router outside a router from the different network? how to set up a network redundancy, what is mean by server redundancy, hot availability, and what is mean by redundant sites, data backup, different types of data backup, tape rotation, what is the policy for data rotation and tape rotation, what is mean by business impact analysis and disaster recovery and crisis management plan. So we'll discuss all this in section 28. Then policies and procedures. What is mean by policies and procedure? Data classifications, data ownership, and you can say legal requirements for data policies and procedures. We're going to understand about user education, how to make user trained and user educated with their policies. Vendor relationships comes into picture, and IT security framework come into picture, key frameworks. And we'll go and understand what is mean by incident response and forensics. What is mean by incident response procedure, planning, investigating of data, forensics procedure. What is a four terms of, you can say, incident response plan, how to start up with a preparation, detection detection and analysis. Third is eradication, and you can say that particular recovery, and fifth is impact, and you can say final lesson learned. And we are going to understand data collection procedures even, and some security tools for something like OTK, that is open toolkit for forensics. Then there's something called engineering, social engineering, how the social engineering can come into picture. What is the meaning of social engineering, how people do pretexting, insider threat, phishing, motivation factors, and more social engineering techniques, fraud, scams, providing you got some lottery, and you got some in a lottery you got some 1 crore of rupees, that click on this link, that's something like phishing mails. Influence campaigns, see there are some networking business people used to influence. So I have been working in since so many years, and now I got so much of things that you start influencing the people. So these are something very elevated in terms of social engineering. Okay. So then user education, how to avoid the social engineering possibilities. Then after completing all these concepts, we'll understand what is the planning of your exam. So during the planning of your exam, we're going to understand, we need to talk about the exam, assess and monitor, and how to secure, how to operate, how to identify, analyze, and respond. So, and we're going to understand something called wait we'll summarize each and everything uh, in a 2 hours of span of time. We'll go on understanding something like this. There is a summarized plan is there. So we'll go one by one each domain. Threats, comparisons, what are the different types we are going to learn, what are the scenarios that we are going to handle, what are the different scenarios for you can say potential indicators, analyze of potential indicators for network attacks, intelligence sources. So there are so much of data is there. We will go and discuss most of the core concepts of this. Okay. Then we'll discuss about all techniques that are there. What is mean by penetration, white box, black box, and gray box, war flying, war diving, footprinting. What are the different passive OSINT? What is the meaning of OSINT? Exercises, red team, blue team, white team, purple team. So what are the different types? Architecture and design. So we have some scenarios. We will discuss all these things. Once it is completed, then I'll provide you dumps. So this is also one of the major. I have more than 5,000 plus questions that I have collected with me in terms of dumps. So I'll share with you that those dumps will help you out in terms of understanding how exam looks like, and I will even show you how proctor's exam will be taken. So I'll give a basic understanding how the proctor's exam will be considerably taken into place, and what are the merits and demerits of that particular proctor's exam. How you are going to identify whether you wish to go with a company, you can say training location exam, or would you like to go for online exam, where there are so many exam standards are there. So there are 3 I think. So out of which is best to adopt, what are the different easiest method to crack the exam that I'll going to explain when the completion of this course. I mean to say, and will provide. I have a heavy bunch of CompTIA like this. These are my dumps, and I have 501 and 601. Each and everywhere I have some very big list of dumps are there. Okay, that I'll provide you people without any fee. I don't keep it anything with me. I'll share everything with you people once the course completion got. I mean course completion, and we are the you can say standard partners of this CompTIA. So if you wish, you people wish, we will provide you coupons from our company. That is separate, and that will be charged separate. Okay, the for the you can also go to some CompTIA there, and from our side also you can ask our admin team to provide that particular security plus coupons, and we will help you out in terms of providing them and preparing your exam, how the best way to prepare the exam and all. Okay, so this is the benchmark of security plus course content, exclusively course content of security plus, and entirely if you go inside your course content, the similar fashion of course content will be there in terms of you can say, and I'll provide notes with respect to section wise, that every time I keep on provide you the you can say whenever I complete the sections, as soon as complete the sections, I used to provide section wise data for you people most of the thing, and this batch will be starts from the next Saturday, and the course timing from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. That is 2 hours. In between, I used to give a 5 minutes of break, so people can have a break of 5 minutes, and just one hour and another 1 hour, or you can say 55 minutes of two sessions, and weekly 4 hours will be there, and I'll try to finish entire this course in a 30 hours of time, a maximum 26 to 30 hours. 26 are the least, and 30 hours are the best possible sections that I'm going to cover all these things. Okay, and we'll provide recordings every as soon as the course class completes. Most probably very next day morning you are going to get those data in a recording sessions. For that you need to contact administrative block. They will provide the link where you will get week wise and you say session wise videos as well as session wise documentation. Okay guys, so this is the course of your security CompTIA security plus. Any doubts related to this, let me know. You gave a good
No problem, Vishnu. It's really been a pleasure, and I can't tell you how much it's been a help for me at work. Um, yeah, guys, I'm being promoted as a incident handler, response handler because of Vishnu. Basically, it's been his session.
yeah, thank you, Kirmay. Someone has at least got a good scope with my lectures. That is really honor for me to give continuous exposure to you guys. Okay, thank you so much once again, and we'll have a good healthy sessions in for continuous classes. So you will feel. So the first class may not be that much that may not throw you that much intensity, but over the period of time you can come to know the way of approach towards the course, that you will get into and understand. I'll see once at the end of the sessions that you will, of course, most of the my you can say trainees, they said this was amazing because of this particular sessions. They got so much of, you can say, scope of understanding. I'm not claiming that the people got you can say promoted, people got a good position and all, but they got to know that, see, understanding concepts is at last you can say you may get promoted after some 1 or 2 years, that may be there, but the understanding concepts are most important, and we are most of the yeah, our instructors such a way, people are more, we put more effort to get something like, see, like uh, this kind of thank you so much, and sorry, I'm really sorry for yes, I want to say something, but it was something like, yeah, that's all for the day, guys. We'll meet on Saturday. Those who joins, if you have any doubts, let me share something. Vishnu, the hacktivist, at gmail.com. This is my mail. If you have any doubts, just throw a mail to me, that I'll be available. Otherwise, you can also please contact, sorry, you can contact Rohan's number. I think you, most of the people have his number, but still I'm throwing his number. Yeah. So this is the number. Wait. You have this Rohan's number. He is the admin guy who is going to handle and coordinate this particular course, and is very really very you can say pleasant guy. You can contact him for any doubts, and if at all he can't handle, then he can of course he can throw to me only at last. But if you have any doubts, then throw a mail. That's the ultimate. I will always available on that mail 24 hours into 7. Okay, guys. Thank you so much for the sessions once again, and have a very good night, and hopefully you people have enjoyed, and welcome to SIEM Intelligence once again. Thank you. Bye. Good night to all.